Hey, it's Tuesday. Um, it's a blessing to see another day. It's a blessing to see another week. It's a blessing to have breath. So, of course, I always love to start our discussions with gratitude. Gratitude for where we are and really appreciating not to compare to anyone else's, but to look at what we can appreciate. Take that moment and that second to just reflect on what you survived. As long as you have breath, you're still here. You have purpose still within you that needs to be put out into the world. So let's take a moment just to give gratitude. Even if you write one thing down, or if you can write down 3 things, but just always want to stay in a place of gratitude. Okay? Let's stop for that 1 second. So, hopefully you had something that came about that you were grateful for, whether it's the people in your lives, whether or not you had a meal today, whether or not you got to sleep a little bit longer, whether you had less things going on than you normally do. Whatever small step of gratitude you can take, every little bit counts, because then it builds to something bigger and greater. So you just want to be in that place. And stepping in gratitude this week, I usually pull from the blog that I've created a couple of years ago, and it's never old or stale, because at the end of the day it's talking about just life things. And this one that was pulled was called The Road Ahead. And I'm discussing here that we have a choice. We always have a choice. We always can make a decision. We can do whatever we want to. A lot of times we do things that seem easy or are easy to us, and we think that comes out to be the best decision, but that doesn't always mean the best, because sometimes it can cost us. Sometimes the cheapest thing is not necessarily the best thing either. So why? Because there's decisions that we just don't know the future. We just don't know what it holds. So today it seems right, but tomorrow it might not be the same thing. So we just kind of have to still live our lives, but not be, how do you put it? We want to be concerned, but not in a place of worry. We want to, know what is around the corner, but we have to trust that God has our best interests at all times in play. So no matter the valley, the hard places that we end up in, whether it's low or high, tough or easy, that is building our character experiences so that it can take to another. And as long as that we have life in us, that we can still hope for a better future. But as we hope, it's not to continue to remain doing the same things. We have to decide, with that holding of hope, to also do the things we need to do, take the steps we need to take. And some steps are changes. Some steps are just turning away from some things that we no longer need to be going towards. Maybe even, stepping away from people that we no longer need to be around. So we have choices to make. And in those choices, especially when we say we no longer want what was before, that never served purpose, that never brought us to a better place, and we say, I want a better place, and that better place, I've got to say, is with him. This is my experience, so I can only tell you what I know. This is what I know, and from my own experience, my own things that I've gone through, and he's shown himself to be strong in my life, and show, that give that direction and that encouragement and open up doors and have people show up on my behalf. Like, I'm sorry, I'm I'm sold out. So love for you to be sold out, but you have to go through that experience yourself. But the experience happens when we say, okay, God, I'm going to go. I want to see this life abundantly. And what does that look like? Here are the desires you put in me, and I want to go for it. And how do I go for it? And you take those steps to go towards it. And so when you do that, you have to in some cases, some people may have to little by little relinquish so that you can really experience. Now, if you can go wholeheartedly relinquish anything, every and all things to him, I say do it. I know sometimes we want to do baby steps, but whatever you do, you just pull on and just say, God, I trust you. God, I trust you. And you have to walk that out. It's that level of faith that can grow within you. And when you have that experience and you put it underneath your belt, then you can kind of move to the next one and go, you know what? I trust you on this last thing. I know it's not the same thing, but the same trust can be applied. So let me trust you on this. And as you keep doing those things, it grows. So again, the road ahead is trusting and moving in a positive direction. And that direction, again, maybe you turning away from the direction you were going in. And for those, if you've already been going in a positive direction, keep going and keep holding on to that level of faith. There are things going to be bombarding you left and right. That doesn't go away. He said there'd be tests and trials. He didn't say it's gonna be easy. Some days, I'm saying, like, why couldn't it be easy? But it's not always gonna be easy. But we trust him, right? So how do we move forward? We become better than we were yesterday. So I like to take it this way. Maybe I didn't go off on too many people in the harsh way, as many as I did yesterday. Maybe I'll just do about one person, maybe not 6 people, until it becomes no people. So it's these steps that we have to take, and we're not microwave. It takes a while for us to become this person. So it takes a while for us to change into being that person. But when you see that change in you, you'll give, gratitude to see that change and to say, oh, I don't even recognize who that person was, but I love who I am now. So we have to not dwell on, we have a past and we can't change the past. And we pray to God that we have a future. And we want to walk into that future. You can't change anything from your past, so why dwell on it? There may be some things that may hold us back in our past that we may have to forgive and let go. And not necessarily for the other person, but for yourself, for your own healing, for your own step in the right direction. And it helps us to change our character. A lot of times when the harshness of who we are comes from the things that we've experienced and the things that we've hold on to. And so when we want to see a better us, a lot of times it comes from internally releasing ourselves from past hurts, releasing ourselves from decisions that we made, because you can't change it. So whatever we can't change, we can't dwell on. We have to release it. But what we can do is choose another step that's in a better direction. And that better direction is usually towards healing. And that healing is, a lot of our healing comes from forgiveness, releasing that anger. He said we can be angry but don't sin. But when we hold on to that anger and it turns into a sin of bitterness and unforgiveness and all that stuff, then we are pulling ourselves in the wrong direction, and it can cause a lot of other internal issues that we don't want to happen. We try to figure out, well, why am I sick? Why is this happening? And a lot of times it's internal. Some of the things that we allow to internally happen to ourselves. So releasing others is not so that they can feel good about themselves. Releasing others so that you can be better with yourself. Okay? So we have a road ahead. We want to move in a positive direction, and the only being, Jesus Christ, can help us get in that direction because of what he's laid down for us and said that he's taken it. And so therefore we don't have to. He's lived it so that we could see that we don't have to live in any other way than the way that he lived. And yes, we're going to have yes, there are things that are around us that distract us and want to pull us in different directions, but we don't have to live the way that everybody else lives. We have a choice to live differently. Just like you don't have to live like I do, or your mother does, or your father, or your friend, or anything like that. There's a path that's for you and a plan that's for you, and he can differentiate that for you, and then you end up seeing, wow, this is who I am. Everyone has, he loves who you are, who your character is, and it's great to take that character and put it into his kingdom. And so, and then when you see how that character, or that whatever he's putting you blossoms, is not, is, yes, he wants to change you into a clean way, but not as in you went from some some extreme, you love to wear loud colors, but now I'm not, I'm just doing the basic. You love to, you wear loud colors, but now I'm in a, I've chosen God, now I gotta wear these mute colors and I can't express myself. That's not him. He wants you to express yourself because that's your uniqueness, but now you express it on this side rather than that side. You express it in a way that encourages another and it helps somebody else, not where it can be a distraction to someone else. And that's not for me to determine. That's between you and him. But just know, when you're on his side, you're in his house and you're within his love and within his his loving arms to encourage you and take you along the right way. So you have a road ahead. Embrace that road ahead. Encourage yourself. You have to encourage yourself. You have to encourage yourself even when no one else does. So encourage yourself along that road. Forgive yourself along that road. And embrace the road ahead. Have a blessed one. You are awesome. Can't wait to see you next time.